I always wanted to be a doctor, and I went through training to work on a crisis line. And my very first night on the job, my very first shift, and I got downstairs to the phone room and I picked up my very first telephone call. And I was talking to a man in his 30s who was clearly depressed. I knew from the training that we had to ask if he was going to hurt himself. And he said, well, I do have a gun here. You know, I was going right by the rules here. I said, we have a rule here that I'm not allowed to talk to you unless you put that gun someplace else. And so he put the phone down and he walked across the kitchen and he put the gun in a drawer. I could hear the drawer open up and he closed the drawer. And he came back and I talked to him for about 40 minutes. And I did everything that I could in that conversation to keep him going and find out what was really going on. And I, being my young and hopeful and aspiring and following all the right things to do that I was just taught, thought we were making progress. And then he said, oh, screw this. And the next thing I heard was him stand up and move the chair, and I heard the phone swinging on the counter, and the drawer open and a gun go off. And, following the rules, I had let the supervisor know. And she said, you need to hang the phone up. I said, he's alive. He's going to come back on this phone. And I didn't know it at the time, but she had already contacted the police and had sent them to the house. And then the door being broken in. And then the police picked up the phone and they said, hello. And the person said, this is Sergeant, I don't remember his name. He said, I'm very sorry to tell you that he's gone. First night, first shift, first job. And I lost my first client. And when you go through something like that, you are forever changed. And I went into the break room. And as I sat in this break room, all in my own world of what had just happened, replaying every single sentence and every single question, a woman who was working the night shift, because it was 24 hours, came in and she sat down and she started eating her lunch. And I was angry at her. I was really mad because she didn't know what I was going through. And at that moment I realized how alone people are when they lose somebody to suicide. You can have one person around you or 10 people around you, but that feeling that you have when you lose somebody that you love and care about and you wanted so much for, and if they could have just asked the right thing, or if they could have just done the right thing, and yet their brain wouldn't let them. But my hope is that this film, this family's story, is going to be one of those things that is going to turn that ship for us. We are going to see things differently. We are going to open minds. We are going to educate.